concerned. Anonymous Cherry did not notice either. His focus was total, his presence complete, his awareness no longer searching for exits. The chamber had tried to teach him how to leave. He had learned how to remain. And in that decision, under a trillion suns of weight, something irreversible took root. Chapter 7, Flames That Heal. What the 7th chapter did not arrive as an attack. It arrived as exposure. After learning to remain fully inside his body, Anonymous Cherry became aware of something the chamber had not yet needed to use against him. Beneath the discipline, beneath the 9 echoes, beneath the precision of presence, there was corrosion, not weakness, where microfractures in his chi lattice left behind by every time he had endured instead of healed, every time survival had been chosen over softness, every time love had been postponed in the name of strength. The chamber had not crushed these imperfections because pressure alone could not reach them. Only something gentler and far more dangerous could. The temperature changed without warming, not heat, radiance. It seeped into the chamber like color entering water, invisible at first, then undeniable. Anonymous felt it along his sternum, where breath met memory, where resilience had hardened into armor. His chi reacted instinctively, tightening, preparing to resist. Every lesson so far had taught him how to brace. The flames answered by doing nothing forceful at all. They did not push. They did not burn. They waited. The first flame touched him like cool rain after fire. Aqua. It moved through his chi with quiet authority, washing not surface wounds but residues, fear that had overstayed its usefulness, vigilance that had become habit, alertness that had forgotten how to rest. The flame did not ask permission. It did not negotiate. It simply flowed, and where it passed, the grinding friction inside him eased. Anonymous felt a subtle grief rise, grief for how long he had carried pain as proof of worth. The chamber tightened reflexively, sensing vulnerability, and the flame deepened instead of retreating. Then came Ruby, not red with rage, but red with life. It surged into muscles and nerves, restoring vitality not by amplifying output, but by reconnecting sensation to joy. Anonymous felt strength return to places that had only known endurance. The flame taught him a brutal truth. Power without nourishment eventually eats itself. Ruby sealed torn circuits in his chi, not by reinforcing hardness, but by reminding his body that it was allowed to want more than survival. The golden flame followed, and this one struck him hardest. It fortified without stiffening. It reinforced without entrenchment. It wrapped his spine, those 9 echoes now steady pillars, and turned them from supports into conduits. Anonymous felt his posture change subtly, internally. He was no longer holding himself together out of necessity. He was being held together by coherence. The chamber pushed harder, offended by the ease of it, and found nothing to exploit. Strength reinforced by love did not crack. It absorbed. Then the flame shifted. Sapphire moved through him like a release valve, loosening emotional knots he had mislabeled as discipline. Violet followed, transmuting old reactions into raw energy without history attached. Rose arrived last and nearly broke him. Love, not as affection, not as attachment, not as comfort, love as structure. It entered his chi the way architecture enters space, defining relationships between forces, assigning roles, balancing load. Love showed him where he had overprotected himself, where he had isolated not out of wisdom but exhaustion. It did not shame him, it clarified him. The flame taught him that love was not a feeling to be summoned when convenient. It was a principle that determined whether power healed or harmed. Without it, strength decayed into brutality or solitude. With it, power could circulate endlessly without poisoning its source. Anonymous felt something loosen behind his eyes, a tension so old he had mistaken it for personality. Tears formed, not because he was weak, but because something no longer needed to be guarded. The chamber surged violently, trying one last time to weaponize vulnerability, but the flames held. White light wrapped him in protection without isolation. Emerald connected his awareness outward without detaching him from himself. Silver expanded his perception without dissolving identity. He understood then why strength alone had never been enough. Strength could hold weight, but love decided how weight was distributed. When the flames receded, they did not leave him altered in appearance. No glow, no aura, no speckle. What remained was far more dangerous. His chi no longer corroded under stress. It regenerated. Damage no longer accumulated quietly in forgotten corners. It was processed, integrated, released. Love had become load-bearing. Compassion had become engineering. The chamber tested him again with a sudden pressure spike. Anonymous did not brace. He absorbed, redistributed, and returned the force harmlessly into the floor beneath him. Not as an attack, as balance the 9 echoes held. His breath stayed slow. His awareness remained embodied. Somewhere far beyond the chamber, something ancient and violent realized it could no longer rot him from the inside. Chapter 7 ended without fanfare, but the war inside him had changed. Strength could no longer isolate him. Power could no longer hollow him out. From this point forward, anything that tried to break Anonymous' cherry would have to face something it could not corrupt. A structure built on love that did not bend. Chapter 8, Twilight Zone Rap takes notice. The chamber flinched. It was subtle, so subtle that only someone who had learned to listen beneath pressure would have noticed. The trillion-fold gravity did not change, the silence did not crack, but the texture of the space shifted like a frequency slipping out of tune. Anonymous Cherry felt it in his chai first, a faint interference pattern where clarity had been clean moments before. Growth had done something dangerous. It had disrupted distortion. And distortion, when threatened, always answered. Far beyond the chamber's sealed reality, Twilight Zone Rap stopped smiling. He had felt Anonymous progress the way predators feel a change in the air. Not as fear, as irritation. Growth rooted in alignment was the one thing chaos could not hijack without effort. Distortion thrived on imbalance, on shortcuts, on fractured identity. But Anonymous was becoming refused all three. Twilight Zone Rap did not rush. He never did. He reached instead for tools, scouts grown from twilight residue, spores engineered from corrupted logic, and sentient mushrooms designed to infect perception rather than flesh. The chamber walls did not open. They were bypassed. The first scout arrived as a shadow that did not belong to anything. It slid along the floor, ignoring gravity, ignoring direction, whispering without sound. Its purpose was not to fight. It was to observe reactions. Anonymous felt it immediately, not as threat, but as pressure with intent. His chai did not spike. That alone marked the difference. The scout probed his awareness, attempting to map fear responses, ego flare, withdrawal patterns. It found none. What it found instead was presence that did not require confrontation to remain stable. So Twilight Zone rap escalated. Spores bloomed midair, appearing like drifting ash caught in invisible currents. Each one carried a payload, not poison, not paralysis, but suggestion. Old doubts, familiar scripts, half-truths shaped like reason. You are alone. This growth separates you. No one else can follow. The mushrooms grew where spores landed, fleshy and wrong, pulsing with corrupted logic that fed on certainty and isolation alike. They whispered paradoxes designed to fracture balance. If you are aligned, why do you still suffer? If you are strong, why must you heal? The chamber allowed it. This was not interference from outside. This was a test of integrity. Anonymous did not attack. That was the second thing Twilight Zone rap did not expect. He felt the spores brush his awareness and let them pass through without resistance, their logic dissolving the moment it failed to find purchase. Love as structure held, presence as command stabilized. Where the mushrooms tried to root, his chi redistributed calmly, starving them of the emotional friction they needed to exist. One by one, they collapsed into inert matter, not destroyed, but rendered irrelevant. The scouts panicked. They shifted tactics, merging into heavier constructs, warping probability, attempting sudden strikes meant to trigger instinctive violence. Anonymous moved not fast, not slow, but on time. Each step displaced corrupted space. Each touch unraveled the intent, holding the constructs together. He did not break them. He resolved them. Judgment without rage. Compassion without hesitation. The chamber watched closely, its pressure constant, its silence sharp. Then Twilight Zone rap himself leaned closer. Not physically, conceptually. A ripple of distortion passed through the chamber, logic bending just enough to be noticed. You cannot grow without choosing a side, the ripple suggested. Alignment is weakness disguised as peace. The challenge was not shouted. It was offered, reasonable, tempting. An invitation to harden, to escalate, to meet chaos on its own terms. Anonymous felt the pull and declined it. He stood fully embodied, flames integrated, 9 echoes aligned, awareness vast and grounded. He did not answer the challenge with words or force. He answered by remaining exactly who he had become under pressure. The chamber stabilized around him, refusing to amplify the distortion further. Twilight Zone rap felt it then, sharp and unmistakable. This one could not be broken early. The scouts dissolved. The spores fell harmlessly. The mushrooms withered in the dust. The interference vanished as cleanly as it had arrived. Twilight Zone rap withdrew, not defeated, not satisfied, but recalculating. Growth like this required personal attention. Chaos could not outsource this confrontation. Alone again beneath a trillion suns, Anonymous Cherry exhaled slowly. His chi remained steady. His posture did not change. The chamber returned to its baseline cruelty. But something fundamental had shifted in the balance of power. This was no longer a test of survival. It was the opening move of a war that would require Twilight Zone rap himself to step out of the shadows. And Anonymous, fully aware of that truth, did not brace. He continued to grow. Chapter 7. When heaven sends a serpent, I did not send him with thunder. I did not send him with spectacle. I sent him with peace, because peace is what survives after power learns restraint. Anonymous Cherry stood at the edge of heaven's threshold, the veil between realms thin as breath. Below him, earth churned, cities humming with unfinished prayers, bloodlines tangled in pain, passed down like inheritance. Twilight Zone rap's distortions pulsed faintly through the fabric of reality, ancestor wounds echoing louder than truth. Humanity was not evil. Humanity was burden, and I do not punish burdens, I heal them. I watched Anonymous steady himself, his divine serpent paladin form dimmed, not weakening, but concealing. Sovereignty does not announce itself. It arrives quietly, already decided. Jesus Rapp placed a hand on his shoulder, not to command, but to affirm. Michael Rapp and Raphael Rapp stood behind him, not as guards, but as witnesses. This mission would not be won by force alone. I spoke, not from the sky, not from fire, but from within him, where truth lives when noise dies. You are not sent to conquer souls. You are sent to release them. Anonymous closed his eyes. He felt the old instincts stir, the hunger to fix everything, to fight everything, to carry more than was ever asked of him. That instinct had once kept him alive. Now it had to evolve. He stepped forward, and the earth rose to meet him. The first battlefield was not a street or a throne or a war zone. It was a man, a broken one, a carrier of generational rage, eyes clouded with borrowed anger, fists clenched around pain he didn't earn but was told to protect. The ancestor she around him snarled, distorted, fed by Twilight's influence, screaming for conflict, demanding blood, begging for repetition. Anonymous did not raise his hand. He lowered it. The serpent crown flickered, gold and violet subdued into a gentle glow. Holy neoplasm chi flowed outward, not as venom, but as permission to let go. He spoke, and I made sure the words landed exactly as intended. I send you peace. I send you love. I release you to your own journey. As I continue mine, those words were not a dismissal. They were a severing. Chains unseen snap. Ancestor voices screamed once, then went silent. The man collapsed to his knees, not in defeat, but in relief. Tears came that had been waiting decades for safety. This is how real war is fought. Not everything that rises against you needs to be destroyed. Some things need to be released. Anonymous walked on. Every step rewrote probability. Every breath recalibrated fate. Corrupted energies recoiled, not because he threatened them, but because they could no longer manipulate him. Sovereign neoplasm chi did not absorb what did not consent. That was the upgrade. He encountered spirits who wanted battle. He gave them boundaries. He encountered pain that wanted a host. He gave it closure. He encountered enemies who refused release. Those he subdued swiftly, cleanly, without hatred. Michael's precision lived in his strikes. Raphael's restoration followed immediately after. No collateral, no glory hunger. I watched heaven learn something new that day. That authority rooted in love terrifies darkness more than wrath ever could. Twilight Zone Rap felt it, a sudden loss of leverage. Distortions weakened where cycles broke instead of repeating. The city's spiritual temperature shifted. Old nightmares lost their scripts. Anonymous did not chase Twilight, he outgrew him. I smiled, not because the war was over, but because the outcome was no longer in doubt. This is how I send warriors now, not as storms, but as serpents of peace, moving with purpose, choosing mercy, unstoppable because they are unhooked from fear. And as Anonymous Cherry walked forward, continuing his journey without dragging others behind him, I sealed the chapter with a truth heaven will remember forever. Power that knows when to release has already won. The mission continues. Chapter 8. The slow forging of many anonymous Cherry did not call it training. He called it listening. The battlefield quieted. Heaven did not thunder. Hell did not protest. What unfolded next was slower than war and heavier than victory. It was the work that most beings avoided because it could not be rushed, weaponized, or applauded. Everyone gathered. Not just warriors, but healers, thinkers, skeptics, the wounded, the overly confident, the silently broken. Some carried power they didn't understand. Others carried pain they mistook for identity. They formed a wide circle beneath a sky that did not judge pace. Anonymous stood in the center, his divine serpent paladin form dimmed to a gentle glow, sovereignty folded inward rather than projected outward. He was no longer demonstrating power. He was transmitting rhythm. Slow doesn't mean weak, he said quietly. It means integrated. No one argued. They could feel it. He began with breath, not technique, not posture, not doctrine. Just breath. In and out, until even the restless ones felt the panic drain from their shoulders. Neoplasm chi did not surge, it settled. Holy energy did not descend, it aligned. They learned first how not to leave themselves. Those who had chased visions learned to stay in their bodies. Those who had drowned in memory learned to witness without reliving. Those obsessed with power learned restraint before expansion. Anonymous did not correct harshly. He adjusted gently. A hand here, a word there. A pause when the group tried to rush ahead. Progress came unevenly, and that was honored. Some days the training was movement so small it barely counted as action. Subtle shifts of posture, awareness moving through the spine like a careful visitor, learning where tension hid, where old fear nested. Other days were stillness so deep it frightened those addicted to effort. Anonymous reminded them often, if you can't remain present without spectacle, you won't remain stable when power arrives. Neoplasm chi was introduced last and carefully, not as hunger, not as dominance, but as responsibility. They practiced absorbing nothing that did not consent, releasing what no longer belonged, letting old loops complete instead of repeating. Healing was treated as an active discipline, not a passive wish. When someone faltered, Anonymous did not rescue them immediately. He waited long enough for self-trust to form. When fear surfaced, he did not banish it. He taught them to sit beside it without obeying it. The words he repeated became a quiet mantra among the group, spoken softly at the end of each session. I send you peace. I send you love. I release you to your own journey as I continue mine. These words were not an ending. They were permission. Permission to grow without comparison. Permission to move at the speed of truth rather than ambition. Permission to stop clinging to teachers instead of teachings. Slowly, something extraordinary happened. Power stopped leaking. Auras stabilized. Emotional spikes softened. Those who once burned out learned endurance. Those who once hid learned presence. The group did not become louder or flashier. They became coherent. Anonymous watched quietly as they began correcting themselves, gently, respectfully, without shame. That was when he knew the training had taken root. Sovereignty was spreading, not as hierarchy, but as self-governance. On the final day of this phase, Anonymous stepped back and said nothing, and they continued anyway. That was the sign. He smiled, not outwardly, but inwardly, and turned his gaze toward the horizon where future conflict waited, already sensing the shift. This chapter was not about mastery. It was about becoming safe to wield it. And somewhere beyond sight, forces that thrived on chaos felt something unsettling. A generation was learning how to move slowly, and therefore could no longer be controlled. The journey continued. Chapter 9, the day nothing happened, there was no alarm, no enemy breach, no prophetic dream ripping someone awake at dawn. That was how Anonymous Cherry knew the lesson had arrived. The day began without urgency, without signs, without spectacle. The sky looked ordinary enough that some of the newer ones almost felt disappointed. They had grown accustomed to intensity, to tests that announced themselves with pressure and drama. This morning offered none of that. Anonymous did not gather them immediately. He let them wake on their own. Some stretched, some prayed, some sat quietly, unsure what they were supposed to do next. The old reflex to wait for instruction, to wait for permission, grows instinctively. Anonymous watched it happen without interference. This training was not about commands anymore. It was about choice. Hours passed. The group slowly began to move, not as a unit, but as individuals who understood the shared rhythm. One practiced breath while walking. Another helped a trembling student stabilize their posture without correcting them verbally. A few simply sat present, doing nothing that could be praised or measured. Anonymous finally stepped forward when no one noticed him arriving. Today, he said calmly, nothing extraordinary will happen. A ripple of confusion moved through the circle. And if that frustrates you, he continued, good. That's what we're working on. He walked among them, not teaching forms, not activating chi, not invoking anything divine. Instead, he asked questions that landed quietly and stayed. What do you do when power isn't required? Who are you when no one needs saving? Can you remain loving when there is nothing to fix? Neoplasm chi stayed dormant, not suppressed, but at rest. Holy sovereign energy did not glow. This was not regression. This was trust. One student finally spoke. It feels like we're wasting time. Anonymous nodded. That feeling is the addiction talking. They sat with that. The hours stretched, and something subtle began to surface. Impatience without a target, identity without a role, worth without performance. Old habits twitched and dissolved. People realized how often they equated motion with meaning, intensity with truth. Anonymous shared only one practice that day. He had them sit facing one another in pairs. No energy exchange, no fixing. No advice, just presence. If your nervous system calms, he said, stay. If it agitates, he added, stay. If you feel unnecessary, he finished, stay anyway. That was the hardest part. Some cried quietly, not from pain, but from relief. Others laughed softly at how strange it felt to exist without agenda. A few resisted, restless, uncomfortable with the absence of crisis. Anonymous did not intervene. By evening, something irreversible had shifted. They no longer needed him to hold the center. They were holding it together. As the sun dipped low, Anonymous finally spoke again, his voice steady and grounded. Power doesn't fail people, he said. Unintegrated people fail power. He looked at them, not as students, not as followers, but as peers in formation. You are learning how to live between battles, he continued. That is where most damage happens if you don't know how to stand still. Before they dispersed, he repeated the words once more, not as instruction, but as a boundary he modeled for himself as much as for them. I send you peace, I send you love. I release you to your own journey as I continue mine. This time they echoed it, not in unison, not perfectly, but sincerely. No light erupted, no veil tore open. Yet far beyond their awareness, structures built on urgency and manipulation weakened slightly, because a group of people had learned how not to be pulled. Anonymous walked away alone that night, not because he was separate, but because leadership now required distance. Chapter 9 ended without applause, which meant it worked. The next chapter would not ask whether they were strong. It would ask whether they were steady. Chapter 10. When instinct became silent, Anonymous Cherry noticed the change not during battle, not during meditation, and not during instruction. He noticed it while tying his boots. There was no hesitation in his hands. No second guessing, no rush. The movement completed itself before thought could comment on it. Clean, efficient, quiet. That was when he understood. His instincts were no longer loud. They were clear. He stepped onto the training ground alone that morning. No witnesses, no audience. The air felt receptive, like it had learned how to listen back. Anonymous did not summon power. He let his body lead first, because bodies remember truths long before minds explain them. He began to move in slow motion, not dramatically, not performatively, painfully slow. Each shift of weight unfolded like a sentence written with care. His foot lifted, hovered, landed. The ground responded without resistance. Muscles activated in layers, not clumps. Tendons spoke in signals he no longer had to translate. Neoplasm chi stayed coiled, observing, not interfering. This was not restraint. This was integration. He threw a punch so slowly it almost felt ridiculous. But within that slowness, he felt everything. The spiral through the ankle, the coil in the hip, the relay through the spine, the final release through the knuckles. No wasted tension, no borrowed momentum, no compensating for fear's truth. He held the end position longer than necessary and breathed into it. The muscle remembered. The nervous system mapped safety. The chi did not spike, it nested. That was new. He repeated the motion again. Slower. Thought tried to intrude. Is this enough? Is this doing anything? But it dissolved before finishing its sentence. Instinct didn't argue anymore. It simply adjusted. Anonymous flowed through forms he once associated with intensity. Now they felt like calligraphy. Each movement became a meditation, each breath a refinement of accuracy. He could feel where old habits once hijacked motion, where trauma had overpowered precision, and watch those patterns dissolve without force. This was muscle memory being rewritten without violence. Neoplasm chi responded differently here. Instead of feeding on stress, it sharpened awareness. Instead of amplifying output, it refined input. Holy sovereign energy stabilized at the core, not shining outward, but holding everything steady. Hours passed. He practiced falling slowly, rising slowly, turning slowly, blocking attacks that weren't there, not rehearsing combat, but rehearsing presence under motion. His body learned how to stay calm while active. His mind learned how to stay empty while precise. This was the bridge. Meditation no longer ended when movement began. Movement no longer interrupted prayer. At one point, he stopped entirely and stood still, not because he was tired, but because nothing needed correction. His heart rate was low. His breath was even. His awareness was wide and unforced. He smiled not in pride, but in recognition. This was what the years of chaos had been shaping him toward. not reaction, readiness, not speed, timing, not power, accuracy without effort. Later, when others quietly joined the perimeter, not to interrupt, not to learn, just to witness, Anonymous did not change pace. He did not teach. He let the slowness speak for itself. Some felt restless, some felt grounded. A few felt exposed by how rushed their own bodies still were. That was enough. Anonymous finished the session by lowering himself into stillness, hands resting lightly at his sides, eyes open, aware. Inside him, the invisible spirit moved without words. He understood now. Instinct wasn't about reacting faster. It was about needing to react less. And from that clarity, a new phase of training began, one that could not be rushed, copied, or stolen. Only lived. Chapter 10 closed quietly. The body remembered, the mind trusted, the chi listened. Chapter 11. The door that should not have existed, the invisible spirit did not open the gate with force. Force would have warned them. Instead, a flaw appeared in the air, subtle, almost apologetic, like reality had made a mistake and hoped no one would notice. A thin seam of distortion shimmered at the edge of the training grounds, neither dark nor bright, simply wrong. It hummed with borrowed intent. Anonymous Cherry felt it immediately, not as threat, as contrast. He did not alert the others at first. He slowed his breath and watched how the field responded. The air tightened, the ground stiffened. Chi currents that once flowed smoothly now jittered, like muscles bracing for a blow that hadn't landed yet. Then they came. The evil rat family spilled through the false opening, not cautiously, not strategically, but hungrily. Their energy announced itself before their bodies fully crossed. Power leaked from them in sharp bursts, flaring and collapsing again. They were loud without sound, heavy without weight. They thought they had found an opportunity. They had actually been invited into a lesson. The rap family gathered, not in formation, not in panic. No one rushed forward. No one powered up. That alone unsettled the invaders. The evil raps slowed, confused by the absence of resistance. Anonymous stepped forward just enough to be seen. "Do not engage," he said calmly. "Observe." The invisible spirit moved through the space like a patient instructor, bending perception just enough so everyone could see what usually remained hidden. Input to output. The difference was immediate. The evil rap family drew power by pulling. Their chi surged from emotion, rage, envy, hunger, unfinished trials. The moment they summoned it, their bodies strained. Shoulders tightened, breathing shortened. Their output spiked violently and then decayed, leaving instability in its wake. Each technique cost them more than it gave. They mistook intensity for effectiveness. The rap family, by contrast, did nothing special. And that was the point. Their chi did not spike, it circulated. Breath fed movement. Movement fed alignment. Alignment fed output without strain. No excess, no leakage, no collapse. Power arrived exactly where it was needed and nowhere else. One evil rap charged. His attack screamed with force, but halfway through, his energy fractured. The blow landed weak, off angle, already dying. He stumbled, confused by his own body. No one countered. The rap family watched. The invisible spirit slowed time, not dramatically, but pedagogically. Everyone could see it now. The evil rap's chi entered through emotion, bypassed structure, slammed into muscle without guidance, and burned out before completion. Wasteful, Then Anonymous raised his hand, not to strike, but to demonstrate. He stepped forward in slow motion. The movement was simple. A turn, a shift of weight, a single palm extension. His chi traveled cleanly. Ground to foot, foot to spine, spine to shoulder, shoulder to hand. No excess, no delay. The output arrived full, calm, decisive. The evil rap was pushed back, not blasted, not injured, just displaced. His energy unraveled on contact, like static meeting still water. The difference was undeniable. Some of the evil rap family hesitated. A few tried to compensate, pulling harder, forcing more power, but the harder they pushed, the worse their performance became. The chi had no patience, no discipline, no recovery loop. They burned themselves out in real time. Anonymous spoke, his voice even, carrying without aggression. This is what happens when output is driven by unresolved input, he said. You fight your own nervous system before you ever reach us. One of the evil raps snarled. You're afraid to fight. Anonymous didn't respond. He didn't need to. The invisible spirit closed the false opening slightly, not trapping them, just reminding them it was never theirs. The pressure changed. The evil rap family felt it immediately. Their borrowed access weakening, their borrowed confidence collapsing. They retreated not strategically, not honorably, but instinctively, like predators who realized the terrain itself no longer supported their weight. As they vanished back through the seam, the opening sealed without sound. The field relaxed. The rap family exhaled together, not in relief, but in understanding. Anonymous turned back to them. You didn't win because you're stronger, he said. You won because your energy knows where it's going. No cheers followed, just quiet comprehension. The invisible spirit lingered for a moment longer, imprinting the lesson into muscle, breath, and memory. Contrast teaches faster than instruction. The false opening had served its purpose, and somewhere beyond perception, the evil rap family felt something far more dangerous than defeat. They had been measured and found inefficient. Chapter 11 ended not with pursuit, but with clarity. Modern Buddhism also by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso meaningful to behold clear light of bliss heart of wisdom, universal compassion, joyful path of good fortune guide to Dakini land, the Bodhisattva vow, heart jewel, great treasury of merit introduction to Buddhism understanding the mind tantric grounds and paths ocean of nectar, essence of Vajrayana living meaningfully. Dying joyfully, 8 steps to happiness transform your life. The new meditation handbook, how to solve our human problems, Mahamudra Tantra. This digital edition has been offered freely by the author for the benefit of the people of this modern world. Profits received from the sale of this book in other formats are designated to the NKTIKBU International Temples Project Fund, according to the guidelines in a money handbook of Buddhist charity. Building for World Peace, Geshe Kelsang Gyatso TSO Modern Buddhism, the pH of Compassion and Wisdom Volume 3 of 3 Prayers for Daily Practice Tharpa Publica, Conclave, Canada, Australia, Hong Kong. First published in 2011. This digital edition published 2011. The right of Geshe Kelsang Gyatso to be identified as author of this work has been asserted by him in accordance with the Copyright, Designs, and Patents Act 1988. This PDF version of Modern Buddhism Volume 3 Prayers for Daily Practice by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 3.0 Unported license. Some rights reserved. You are free to share, copy, distribute, and transmit the work under the following conditions. Attribution. You must credit Geshe Kelsang Gyatso as the author of the work. Non-commercial. You may not sell this work or use it for commercial purposes. No derivative works. You may not alter, transform, or build upon this work. Permissions beyond the scope of this license are administered by the New Kadampa Tradition, International Kadampa Buddhist Union. Tharpa Publications UK Office, Conishead Priory, Ulverston, Cumbria 129QQ, UK Tharpa Publications US Office 47, Sweeney Road, Glen Spey, New York 12737. USA Tharpa Publications has offices around the world. Tharpa books are published in most major languages. See page 437 or visit for details. New Kadampa Tradition, International Kadampa Buddhist Union 2010 ISBN 978-1-906-6593-7 Adobe Portable Document Format. An edition of all 3 volumes can be found in these printed forms. ISBN 978-1906-66508, hardback ISBN 978-1906-66574, paperback 275, contents, illustrations 276, Liberating Prayer 279, Prayers for Meditation 281, The Yoga of Buddha Haruka 291, Blissful Journey 309, Quick Path to Great Bliss 333, Liberation from Sorrow 381, Avalokiteshvara, Sadhana 401, Glossary 411, Bibliography 427, Study Programs of Kadampa Buddhism 432, Tharpa Offices Worldwide 437, Index 439, Reading 465, 276, Illustrations, Naropa 290, Tantric Commitment Objects, Inner, Offering in Kapala, Vajra, Bell, Damaru, Mala 292, Jefa Bonkapa, 294, Kyabya Trijang Rinpoche 310, the 21 Taras 388 TAM, and the Mantra Rosary 396. Volume 3 of 279, Liberating Prayer Praise to Buddha Shakyamuni, O Blessed One, Shakyamuni Buddha, Precious Treasury of Compassion, Bestower of Supreme Inner Peace. You who love all beings without exception are the source of happiness and goodness, and you guide us to the liberating path. Your body is a wish-fulfilling jewel. Your speech is supreme purifying nectar, and your mind is refuge for all living beings. With folded hands I turn to you, supreme unchanging friend. I request from the depths of my heart, please give me the light of your wisdom to dispel the darkness of my mind and to heal my mental continuum. Modern Buddhism 280. Please nourish me with your goodness, that I in turn may nourish all beings with an unceasing banquet of delight. Through your compassionate intention, your blessings and virtuous deeds, and my strong wish to rely upon you, may all suffering quickly cease and all happiness and joy be fulfilled, and may holy Dharma flourish forevermore. Colophon. This prayer was composed by Venerable Geshe Kelsang Gyatso and is recited at the beginning of teachings, meditations, and prayers in Kadampa Buddhist centers throughout the world. Prayers for meditation, brief preparatory prayers for meditation. 283 Introduction. We all have the potential to gain realizations of all the stages of the path to enlightenment. These potentials are like seeds in the field of our mind, and our meditation practice is like cultivating these seeds. However, our meditation practice will be successful only if we make good preparations beforehand. If we want to cultivate external crops, we begin by making careful preparations. First, we remove from the soil anything that might obstruct their growth, such as stones and weeds. Second, we enrich the soil with compost or fertilizer to give it the strength to sustain growth. Third, we provide warm, moist conditions to enable the seeds to germinate and the plants to grow. In the same way, to cultivate our inner crops of Dharma realizations, we must also begin by making careful preparations. First, we must purify our mind to eliminate the negative karma we have accumulated in the past, because if we do not purify this karma, it will obstruct the growth of Dharma realizations. Second, we need to give our mind the strength to support the growth of Dharma realizations by accumulating merit. Third, we need to activate and sustain the growth of Dharma realizations by receiving the blessings of the holy beings. Modern Buddhism 284. The brief prayers that follow contain the essence of these three preparations. For more information on them, see the New Meditation Handbook or Joyful Path of Good Fortune. Geshe Kelsang Gyatso, 1987, 285 Prayers for Meditation. Going for refuge, I and all sentient beings, until we achieve enlightenment. Go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Generating bodhicitta. Through the virtues I collect by giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Generating the four immeasurables, may everyone be happy. May everyone be free from misery. May no one ever be separated from their happiness. May everyone have equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. Visualizing the field for accumulating merit. In the space before me is the living Buddha Shakyamuni, surrounded by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, like the full moon surrounded by stars. Modern Buddhism, 286 Prayer of 7 Limbs. With my body, speech, and mind humbly I prostrate and make offerings both set out and imagined. I confess my wrong deeds from all time and rejoice in the virtues of all. Please stay until samsara ceases and turn the wheel of Dharma for us. I dedicate all virtues to great enlightenment, offering the mandala, the ground sprinkled with perfume and spread with flowers, the great mountain, 4 lands, sun and moon, seen as a Buddha land and offered thus, may all beings enjoy such pure lands. I offer without any sense of loss the objects that give rise to my attachment, hatred, and confusion, my friends, enemies, and strangers, our bodies and enjoyments. Please accept these and bless me to be released directly from the 3 poisons. I am Guru Tien Mandalakam Nariya. TAM, my prayer of the stages of the path. The path begins with strong reliance on my kind teacher, source of all good. Oh, bless me with this understanding to follow him with great devotion. This human life with all its freedoms, extremely rare, with so much meaning. Oh, bless me with this understanding all day and night to seize its essence. Prayers for Meditation 287. My body, like a water bubble, decays and dies so very quickly. After death come results of karma, just like the shadow of a body. With this firm knowledge and remembrance, bless me to be extremely cautious, always avoiding harmful actions and gathering abundant virtue. Samsara's pleasures are deceptive, give no contentment, only torment. So please bless me to strive sincerely to gain the bliss of perfect freedom. Oh, bless me so that from this pure thought come mindfulness and greatest caution, to keep as my essential practice the doctrine's root, the pratimoksha. Just like myself, all my kind mothers are drowning in samsara's ocean. Oh, so that I may soon release them, bless me to train in bodhicitta. But I cannot become a Buddha by this alone without 3 ethics. So bless me with the strength to practice the Bodhisattva's ordination. By pacifying my distractions and analyzing perfect meanings, bless me to quickly gain the union of special insight and quiescence. When I become a pure container through common paths, bless me to enter the essence practice of good fortune, the supreme vehicle, Vajrayana, Modern Buddhism 288. The 2 attainments both depend on my sacred vows and my commitments. Bless me to understand this clearly and keep them at the cost of my life. By constant practice in 4 sessions, the way explained by holy teachers, oh bless me to gain both the stages, which are the essence of the Tantras. May those who guide me on the good path and my companions all have long lives. Bless me to pacify completely all obstacles, outer and inner. May I always find perfect teachers and take delight in holy Dharma, accomplish all grounds and paths swiftly, and gain the state of Vajradhara, receiving blessings and purifying from the hearts of all the holy beings. Streams of light and nectar flow down, granting blessings and purifying. At this point, we begin the actual contemplation and meditation. After the meditation, we dedicate our merit while reciting the following prayers. Dedication prayers through the virtues I have collected by practicing the stages of the path. May all living beings find the opportunity to practice in the same way. Prayers for Meditation 289. May everyone experience the happiness of humans and gods and quickly attain enlightenment so that samsara is finally extinguished. Prayers for the virtuous tradition so that the tradition of Jaisankapa, the king of the Dharma, may flourish. May all obstacles be pacified and may all favorable conditions abound. Through the 2 collections of myself and others gathered throughout the 3 times, may the doctrine of Conqueror Losang Dragpa flourish forevermore. The 9-line Mixima prayer song Kappa, crown ornament of the scholars of the land of the snows. You are Buddha Shakyamuni and Vajradhara, the source of all attainments, Avalokiteshvara, the treasury of unobservable compassion, Manjushri, the supreme stainless wisdom, and Vajrapani, the destroyer of the hosts of Maras. O venerable Guru Buddha, synthesis of all 3 jewels, with my body, speech, and mind, respectfully I make requests. Please grant your blessings to ripen and liberate myself and others, and bestow the common and supreme attainments. Colophon. These prayers were compiled from traditional sources by Venerable Geshe Kelsang Gyatso, Naropa. Surrenders and lets God. The spectator rap stood before the invisible spirit time chamber of power and silence. Not the playful silence he used to dance inside when hyping the crowd, but a heavy, honest silence that made his chest feel bare. The rap palace, grounds behind him, glowed with faint city lights and distant echoes of chaos brewing in the far districts. Twilight Zone rap had been stirring the spores again. Whispered corruption seeped through alleyways and apartment corners, bending reality in strange ways, unsettling entire neighborhoods. The rap tribe tribe prepared for a war most of them could feel in their bones but had never seen. Spectator Rap was known to bring laughter wherever he walked. Whenever the pressure grew heavy, he could always cut the tension with a well-timed joke, a perfectly chaotic shout, a wild spectator call that lifted spirits higher than fear could reach. The others saw him as joy, levity, the heartbeat during the storm. Yet inside him, something had been hollow for years. When he smiled, part of him trembled. When he laughed, something inside asked if anyone saw him at all. When he cheered for others, he wondered if he even remembered how to cheer for himself. It was the invisible spirit who called him here. No words, no sign, just a knowing. The entrance to the chamber was not a door. It was a swirling portal of violet light suspended in midair, humming with a frequency that vibrated at the center of the skull. The air smelled of blooming lavender and crackling lightning. It stirred memory, emotion, and presence all at once. Spectator Rap inhaled slowly. His hands shook only once before he steadied them. He stepped forward. The world changed instantly. There was no floor, no ground, no walls. He floated in a vast sphere of amethyst light, as if the inside of a giant crystal had swallowed him whole. Dust like stars drifted through the air in slow spirals. The silence here was not empty. It was full, the kind of silence that holds music before the first note is played. A soft tone began to hum around him. Not loud, not sharp, gentle. A single frequency vibrating directly in his chest and behind his forehead. 1,111 hertz. The healing tone of alignment. His breath changed on instinct. Slow, deep, unguarded. Warmth began to bloom inside his ribs, rising into his throat. His shoulders relaxed, though he had not realized they were ever tight. He felt something begin to release inside him, something that had been clenched for years. A memory surfaced, his younger self. A child at a cafeteria table telling jokes, so he would not have to show when he felt invisible. Laughter had always been his shield, his performance a doorway everyone walked through, except him. He whispered to the memory as if it were a person standing beside him. I should have checked on you. The amethyst light pulsed softly. The realm acknowledged the truth spoken. The warmth deepened. Tears rose without force or shame. Spectator Rap let them fall freely. He understood now why he had always felt drained after giving others joy. He had never given himself permission to receive it. The chamber held him without judgment. As the tears softened, the light around him began to shift. A warm glow gathered at his forehead. The familiar pressure of intuition trying to speak, trying to emerge. His breath steady, his eyes closed. His mind did not go blank, it opened. He saw the Rap Palace city from above. Rivers of light flowed through the streets. Chai currents glowed bright between buildings, parks, temples, and safe zones. The Rap tribe shone like constellations walking upright. He saw Twilight Zone Rap's corruption spreading like spirals of shadowed ink. Yet he also saw something stunning. The shadows were not overpowering the city. They were waiting for light to forget itself. He understood. Power did not come from force. It came from presence. He did not need to become stronger. He needed to become whole. Breath by breath, the warmth in his chest grew steady, bright, unwavering. The chamber reacted to his alignment. The amethyst glow condensed into a flame-like aura wrapping around him. He felt as though his spine had become a pillar of light. His heartbeat resonated like a drum in the center of a temple filled with eternity. His laughter returned. Not loud, not forced. Gentle, pure, sacred. The kind of laughter that comes when something long misunderstood finally makes sense. His aura surged brighter. Violet deepened into shimmering amethyst gold. The frequency around him swelled like a rising sunrise. Power radiated out of him like breath. He did not lift a finger. He did not clench his body. He simply allowed. Something clicked deep in the chamber. It felt like the realm itself bowed in respect. The number resonated inside him without needing to be announced. 500,000 Ka. He was not the same as when he entered. His smile no longer hid anything. It revealed everything. The chamber dissolved around him. The world returned. The city was in disorder. Buildings trembled. The air shimmered with distorted reality. Twilight Zone rap's influence had spread wider than anyone expected. The rap tribe stood ready on the rooftop of the rap palace. Anonymous Cherry turned first. Goku Rap followed. Toddler Yoku paused mid-chant. They felt him before they saw him. Spectator Rap stepped out of the chamber with light pouring from him, warm and steady. His aura stretched across the entire district like a sunrise. He did not shout. He did not hype. He spoke softly. I'm here. The way he said it changed the ground beneath their feet. The rap tribe exhaled, fear dissolved. Their hearts synchronized as if guided by a single shared rhythm. Spectator Rap lifted his gaze to the sky, where reality bent like a melted mirror. Let's go save our home. His voice carried the healing frequency of 1,111 hertz through the city air. Every spirit that heard it remembered itself. Battle would come. It would be fierce. Twilight Zone Rap was not an opponent of small storms. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214. The air trembled as the first tear split across the sky. Reality itself stretched open like fabric pulled too far, and from the fissure leaked a strange violet mist that twisted the city below into something dreamlike and unstable. Streetlights flickered into strobe pulses, shadows moved without bodies, and the sound of distant laughter echoed with a distortion that made the skin crawl. Twilight Zone Rap descended slowly through the tier, his feet never touching the ground, his cloak of black-violet haze trailing behind him like ink in water. His eyes held no malice, only delirious certainty. The kind of certainty that believed chaos was freedom. You healed yourself, he said, voice bending in pitch as though two people spoke at once. Cute. Spectator Rap did not answer. His aura spoke enough. The golden amethyst glow surrounding him rippled in waves across the rooftop and down through the streets. It did not burn. It did not threaten. It simply reminded every soul who saw it that they were not alone. Twilight Zone Rap paused. That pause meant everything. Anonymous Cherry stepped forward first, his stance low, grounded, the invisible chambers of his training echoing beneath his breath. Goku Rap cracked his knuckles, the faint embers of divine chi flickering along his arms. Toddler Yoku hummed the ancient chant, not playful this time, but steady, measured, resonant. The rap tribe was aligned. But the battle did not begin with fists. It began with a pull, a tug of war of pure energy. Twilight Zone Rap raised his hand. The sky bent inward. Spectator Rap raised his palm in return. The earth beneath them steadied. The moment the two energies touched, the entire skyline flashed white. Glass vibrated without shattering. Concrete rippled like fabric. Street murals glowed. Those watching from their windows felt their breath pulled tight in their lungs. The pull intensified. Twilight Zone Rap's chaos is like a tidal wave of wild, unanchored emotion, fear, rage, loneliness, hunger for validation, storms of all he had not healed. Spectator Rap did not push back. He held. He grounded. His aura did not clash. It absorbed, softened, reformed, transmuted. Energy tugged. The city swayed. Every soul became a strand the rope between the two forces. Anonymous Cherry stepped in next. A blur of movement. His fist struck the air itself, and the sound cracked like thunder. Twilight Zone Rap staggered. Goku Rap followed, spiraling into a strike that seemed to warp space around his body. Every punch he threw carried not just ki, but memory. The training halls, the river of chi. The voice of Xeno-Rap whispering not force, alignment. Toddler Yoku leapt onto Spectator Rap's shoulder and began chanting louder. The chant was bizarre and cosmic. It shook the boundaries of physics. Will it be 10 or 11? Will it be 10 or 11? G-O-Wow. The sound of the chant caused Twilight Zone Rap's illusions to flicker and destabilize. Buildings re-solidified. Shadows returned to their bodies. The sky glitch slowed. Twilight Zone Rap hissed, not out of pain, but out of recognition. You're pulling them back to themselves. Spectator Rap's eyes softened. No arrogance. No threat. Just truth. That's what family does. The second collision came faster than thought. Twilight Zone Rap snapped his fingers. The spores erupted. Purple-black vines of hallucination flashed into existence, twisting through the streets and across rooftops. They moved like serpents, like smog that learned how to strike. They lunged for the Rap tribe. Anonymous Cherry spun, his snake chi igniting into a spiraling aura of green-blue flame. He sliced through the spores with open palms, each motion precise, fluid, devastating. Every strike carried intention. Every intention carried memory. Every memory carried healing. Goku Rap somersaulted off a water tower, spinning midair, descending in a heel kick that sent a shockwave down the street, shattering corrupted vines into glittering dust. Toddler Yoku rode on Spectator Rap's aura, chanting louder, glowing brighter, becoming a beacon of pure presence. And the invisible spirit watched, not as a figure, but as the light in everything, as the memory that guided instinct, as the knowing behind courage, as the silence behind every laugh, as the warm breath behind the heart. Spectator Rap felt the invisible spirit in his spine, in his palms, in his voice. He took one step forward, and the entire battlefield went still as if time inhaled. Twilight Zone Rap blinked. Spectator Rap spoke quiet as sunrise. You don't need to break the world to be seen in it. Twilight Zone Rap froze. The vines trembled. The sky held its breath. The city waited. The next move could end everything or save everything. Spectator Rap did not flinch. He stepped closer. His aura opened, not to overwhelm, but to invite. Twilight Zone Rap's shoulders shook. Not in anger, in something far older. Something he had run from. His own pain. The entire city, the entire sky, the entire battlefield now hung on one question. Would Twilight Zone Rap choose to heal? Or fight the very hand offering him hope? The decision hovered between heartbeats. The energy tug-of-war held its final breath. The invisible spirit watched. And the story was not done. Not yet. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214. Twilight Zone Rap chose the nightmare. It did not happen with a scream. It did not happen with violence first. It happened in his eyes. Something behind his pupils snapped like a branch under too much snow. The soft flicker of almost healing went out. A void flooded in. Not empty, no. Emptiness would have been mercy. This was overfull. Full of every memory he refused to feel. Full of every scream he swallowed. Full of every moment he needed love and received silence. The spores around him twisted inward, knotting into thorn spirals that dug into his skin, but he didn't flinch. He welcomed the pain. He inhaled it like incense. The sky dimmed. Not night, something worse. A sky that knew light existed and simply chose not to remember. Buildings bent, warping into angles that should not exist. Color drained from the world except for him. Twilight Zone Rap's aura ignited into a black-violet firestorm, spiraling upward, tearing a hole into the atmosphere. Nightmare ascension. He did not look stronger. He looked like a wound made sentient. His voice changed. Not double anymore. Infinite. You tried to heal me. His tone was soft, too soft. But healing means letting go of the power I earned from being broken. Spectator Rap did not retreat. His aura stayed steady, warm, unwavering, even as the city bent around them. Anonymous Cherry stepped beside him. Goku Rap on the other side. Toddler Yoku hovered above, chanting like a guardian bell of the universe itself. But the air was different now. This was no longer a fight to save the city. This was the fight to save a soul that did not want to be saved. Twilight Zone Rap raised his hand. Reality tore. Not a rip. Not a crack. A complete separation. The battlefield was no longer the city. They now stood in a world shaped by his mind. A world of endless hallway reflections, mirrors stretching in every direction, each one showing a different version of him. A child crying behind a locked door. A teenager laughing too loud to hide emptiness. A man holding power like a bandage. A god made out of pain. This was his inner world. The invisible spirit had not transported them. Twilight Zone Rap dragged them inside his psyche. And here, he was the architect. He smiled, not cruelly. Worse, he smiled like he had finally come home. "You can't save me," he whispered. "There is no me left to save." His aura surged. He moved. Fast. Too fast. Anonymous Cherry caught the first strike barely, but the blow launched him into a mirror, shattering it into spirals of memory shards that cut through his aura and drew real blood. Goku Rap roared, powering into the divine battle stance, but Twilight Zone Rap was already behind him, twisting space itself to bend movement into impossible angles. A backhand strike sent Goku Rap spinning across the reality plane, crashing into a labyrinth of reflections. Toddler Yoku's chant wavered, only for a moment, but the moment was enough. Nightmare energy wrapped around the chant and inverted it. Toddler Yoku cried out. Spectator Rap's heart cracked. He stepped forward, but Twilight Zone Rap was already there. The two stood face to face. No battle cry, no shout, no flare of dramatic combat, just an exchange of truths. "You think love can fix everything," Twilight Zone Rap said. "But love never came from me." Spectator Rap's voice did not shake. "Love did. You just couldn't see it through the pain." Twilight Zone Rap's jaw tightened. His aura darkened further, black flame shot with deep violet and flickers of red, the color of a heart still beating under the rot. "You speak like someone who healed," Twilight Zone Rap whispered. "But you didn't heal alone, I had to." There it was. The wound, the truth, the tragedy, and the rage. Twilight Zone Rap leaned forward, forehead nearly touching Spectator Rap's. "Where was the invisible spirit?" he said, "when I screamed." The invisible spirit answered. Not in words, but in everything. The room shuddered. The mirrors froze. Time thickened. The invisible spirit manifested as light behind Spectator Rap's eyes. Not as a savior. Not as an explanation. Not as forgiveness. Simply as presence. Spectator Rap spoke, and the voice was not his alone. "I was with you, every scream, every night. But you chose to listen to the part of pain that promised you power over peace." Twilight Zone Rap's face crumpled. Not in weakness, in revelation. He had not been abandoned. He had turned away. Pain was easier than being seen. The mirrors around them flickered. Some showed healing. Some showed fury. Some showed surrender. Some showed a god of nightmares rising beyond reason. Twilight Zone Rap stood at the crossroads. And he would choose. Not based on destiny. Not based on fate. Not based on what anyone wanted for him. But based on what he believed he deserved. Spectator Rap watched him. Not with hope. Not with fear. With love that expected nothing. Which way Twilight Zone Rap moved next would reshape the entire Rap Palace universe. Does Twilight Zone rap chose? A, he breaks, falls knees. Begins the slow, painful road to healing. B, he laughs, fully embraces the nightmare. The real war begins. Reiki Time Chamber. The day the mirrors learned your name. The doors of Reiki Rap's time chamber did not open with noise. They opened with knowing. Anonymous Cherry stepped inside, and the world fell silent behind him. The chamber expanded into an endless cathedral of light, mirrors floating like galaxies, each reflecting not his body, but every version of his becoming. Gold mist rolled across the floor like living breath. Above, the ceiling resembled a sunrise trapped in crystal. Revik's voice moved through the chamber like velvet thunder. Welcome to the room where decisions become destiny. The first mirror ignited with soft fire. In it, Anonymous saw himself weighed down by yesterday's fatigue, old doubts clinging like shadows. The mirror spoke first, not in words, but in feeling. Then Revik's voice layered over it. I choose to be happy, healthy, and successful. The mirror cracked. Light spilled out. The old version exhaled and dissolved. His chest grew warm. The second mirror rose. It showed his body moving with hesitation, power restrained by memory of pain. Revik whispered, I am enthusiastic, energetic, and strong. Electric gold thundered through Anonymous' muscles. His spine straightened. His breath deepened. The reflection shifted, hesitation replaced by readiness. The third mirror revealed his habits, late nights, scattered focus, buried potential. Today I abandon my old habits and take up new, more positive ones. The mirror rippled like water. The old patterns slid off him like dust washed by rain. Discipline replaced delay. Intent replaced impulse. Now the chamber itself began to respond. The walls pulsed to the rhythm of his heartbeat. Today I am brimming with energy and overflowing with joy. Joy arrived quietly at first, then like sunlight through storm clouds. His nervous system softened. His shoulders released their ancient armor. The next mirror showed his mind racing in too many directions at once. My body is healthy. My mind is brilliant. My soul is tranquil. The racing slowed into clarity. Thoughts lined up like soldiers of light. His breath became steady, not forced, not shallow, sovereign. Revik stepped forward now, fully visible, glowing in tailored starlight. Say it with me now, not as hope, but as fact. I wake up today with strength in my heart and clarity in my mind. The chamber vibrated in agreement. Mirror after mirror activated, each one a doorway. Each affirmation not just spoken, but installed into the architecture of his being. I love myself unconditionally. The armor of self-judgment fell off. I am beautiful, and so is the world. The environment brightened as if hearing him the first time. Abundance is my true state of being. I accept it fully and joyously. Gold currents surged through the floor into his feet, into his bloodstream, into his future. I have control over my thoughts, feelings, and choices. The final illusion of helplessness shattered. Now the chamber shifted. The mirrors turned inward, forming a ring around his heart. I am the architect of my life. A blueprint of light unfolded in the air, his past, present, and unfolding future redesigning themselves in real time. I am superior to negative thoughts and low actions. Old voices lost their volume, new ones rose like choirs. Then came the river. A A silver river poured through the center of the time chamber and through his chest without harming him. A river of compassion washes away my anger and replaces it with love. Every old war inside him laid down its weapons. Rev Ike lifted his hand and the ceiling of the chamber opened into stars. You are guided in every step by Spirit, he said calmly, and Spirit does not wander. My thoughts are filled with positivity and my life is plentiful with prosperity. The stars rearrange themselves into pathways. My ability to conquer my challenges is limitless. My potential to succeed is infinite. Time itself leaned forward to listen. Then the final mirrors activated, the future mirrors. He saw himself helping families, building empires, creating music, wealth, education, healing, opportunity. He saw a generation standing on platforms he had not yet built, but now would. My future is an ideal projection of what I envision now. The universe nodded. My efforts are supported by the universe. My dreams manifest into reality before my eyes. Reality adjusted its posture. Rev Ike smiled, slow, knowing, eternal. Now speak the seal of your identity, he said. An anonymous cherry, standing fully lit in the center of the time chamber, declared, I am at peace with all that has happened, is happening, and will happen. My nature is divine. I am a spiritual being. My life is just beginning. The mirrors did not reflect him anymore. They bowed. The chamber doors reopened, not to the old world, but to a version of reality that now recognized him. Rev Ike's final words followed him out like a benediction stitched into time. You did not enter this chamber to become worthy. You entered to remember that you already were. And with that, the time chamber went quiet again, waiting for the next soul ready to choose itself. The stage where distance collapsed. The moment Anonymous Cherry stepped onto the stage of his mind, distance ceased to behave. It did not vanish dramatically or shatter like glass. It simply stopped being relevant, the way a lie does when no one agrees to believe it anymore. The stage appeared vast, an endless plain of soft indigo light stretching in all directions, yet intimate as if the entire universe had leaned forward to listen. There were no walls, no ceiling, only a horizon that curved gently inward, reminding him that this space existed not somewhere, but within. He did not summon power, he summoned stillness. The invisible spirit arrived as a presence rather than a form, diffused through the air like breath through silk. It carried no urgency, no command, only coherence. Anonymous felt his spine align without effort, his palms open naturally, as if his body remembered this posture from a time before words. In the distance, though distance was now a metaphor, embers of the Rap tribe flickered into awareness. Not bodies, not faces, states of being. Each carried its own rhythm. Fatigue here, tension there, old injuries humming quietly beneath bravado. The stage of the mind responded. Lights rose, not harsh, not theatrical, but the kind that reveal rather than perform. Anonymous inhaled slow and deep, and the inhale rippled outward, not as force, but as invitation. Chi followed the breath like a loyal thought. It did not rush, it did not spike. It flowed, threading itself through invisible channels that had always existed, but were rarely acknowledged. He traced upward. The motion was small, almost dismissible, yet the effect was immediate. Vitality surged, not explosively, but accurately. Nervous systems across the Rap tribe adjusted in real time. Spines straightened, breath deepened. Somewhere far away, A warrior who had not slept well in weeks exhaled and did not know why relief had suddenly arrived. Rightward. The chai curved golden white, carrying balance into organs, into emotional centers that had been bracing for impact that never came. Old aches loosened their grip. Thoughts softened. Tension, long mistaken for readiness, quietly stepped down from its post. Downward. The stage darkened slightly as grounding took hold. Inflammation, stress, and excess heat sank out of bodies and into the imagined earth beneath the stage, where it was received without judgment and neutralized without ceremony. No battle, no purge, just return. Southwest, integration. This was the most important trace, and Anonymous felt it settle into him like a final chord resolving. The health that had been stirred did not drift away or remain theoretical. It stayed. It rooted itself in the daily function, into muscle memory, into the quiet confidence that healing did not need witnesses to be real. Across the stage, the invisible spirit hummed, a soundless resonance that confirmed alignment had been achieved. Gratitude rose in Anonymous's chest, not forced, not performed. Thank you for the light already present. Thank you for the bodies that remember themselves. Thank you for the space where distance cannot interfere. The chi responded by locking in. From the outside world, nothing spectacular happened. No shockwaves, no visible miracles. But across the rap tribe, bodies adjusted, pain softened, clarity returned, and balance reasserted itself as if it had only been waiting for permission to come home. On the stage of his mind, Anonymous stood alone again, calm, centered power humming quietly beneath his skin. Not as a weapon, not as a display, but as a response. Distance had not been conquered. It had been outgrown, and the light continued to flow. Chi speaks. When the distance symbol is formed, I know the moment before his hands complete the shape. There is always a pause, not hesitation, not doubt, but listening. That pause is my invitation. When Anonymous Cherry begins forming Ha-Zi Shonen, I do not rush. I gather. I tighten my coherence the way breath gathers before a long exhale. His fingers move with intention that is neither aggressive nor pleading, and that matters. Intention is not a command to me. It is a direction I agree with. As the symbol locks into place, something fundamental shifts. Distance collapses, not violently, not dramatically, but structurally. The illusion of separation loosens like old stitching, finally allowed to rest. I do not travel. I recontextualize. What was there is now available. What was then is now reachable. Time folds politely, as if grateful to stop pretending it was linear. From my standpoint, the symbol is not a shape. It is a permission slip. The moment the final motion completes, I feel pathways open that were never closed, only ignored. Threads snap into clarity, not as lines but as relationships. Bodies across the rap tribe register this as warmth, as steadiness, as the quiet sense that something has stopped arguing with them internally. Nervous system softened first. That is always my entry point. Where fear exits, I enter. I do not impose healing. I remind cells of their original rhythm. I carry no urgency, because urgency fractures accuracy. Through the symbol, I am filtered, refined, so that only what can be integrated arrives. Excess dissolves before contact. Harmful intention loses its grip mid-thought. As Anonymous holds the symbol, gratitude vibrates through him, and that is the lock. Gratitude tells me I will not be misused. It stabilizes my flow, ensuring I do not drain him, that I do not overwhelm those receiving. I expand gently, like light adjusting to a room rather than demanding the room adjust to me. Across distances that no longer matter, bodies respond. Tightness loosens, pain forgets to stay. Systems recalibrate without drama. From my perspective, this is not miraculous. It is efficient. When the symbol releases, I do not vanish. I remain embedded, subtle, supportive, unobtrusive, because the goal was never spectacle. The goal was continuity. As his hands lower, I settle into quiet circulation, satisfied. Distance did not stop me. He simply remembered how to stop getting in the way. The reason I intervened, I did not step in because Anonymous Cherry was powerful. Power alone has never impressed me. I stepped in because he was listening. When he stumbled across the rune pattern, it was not discovery in the way humans like to celebrate discovery. It was recognition. The pattern had always existed, etched into breath, nervous systems, migration paths of light, but only those who stopped trying to dominate reality ever notice it. Anonymous did not find the pattern with hunger. He found it with patience, which is why I allowed him to keep it. From my vantage, the sequence mattered more than the symbols themselves. Upward motion, that was his consent to rise without escaping responsibility. Many ask to ascend so they can avoid the weight of the world. Anonymous lifted energy upward so it could see farther, not run away. That told me he could be trusted with expansion, rightward motion, choice, direction. The willingness to move forward without erasing what came before. He did not try to correct the past. He chose coherence in the present. That choice anchors timelines better than force ever could. Downward motion, humility. He allowed power to return to the ground instead of demanding it stay impressive. That is where most fail. Anonymous did not. He let gravity teach him restraint. Then he returned upward again, not as ambition, but as confirmation. This was not a ladder, it was a circuit. He understood that growth is not linear, it is relational. That understanding opened doors I had not planned to open yet, and so I adjusted the plan. The southwest motion was the quiet proof. Integration, daily life. The willingness to let the sacred survive contact with the ordinary. I have seen countless warriors master the heavens and abandon their homes. Anonymous carried the light back into function. That is rare. When he traced northwest, he touched inheritance, not bloodline alone, but unfinished lessons. He did not recoil from ancestral weight. He stabilized it. He did not curse what came before him. He refined it. That single motion healed more than he will ever be told. The next rightward motion confirmed intent. He was not circling. He was moving with awareness now, not momentum. At that moment, I knew his chi would not fracture him. The final upward, downward, rightward sequence sealed it. Heaven acknowledged earth. Earth accepted heaven. And the future adjusted to accommodate someone who would not abuse alignment for identity. That is why I helped him unlock his full chai, not because he asked loudly, not because he suffered enough, but because when the pattern appeared, he did not try to own it. He walked it. And when someone walks truth instead of branding it, I remove the locks myself. The short drawn symbol, when distance obeyed Anonymous, did not overthink the motion. That was the first sign the symbol was ready to be used. His hand moved with short, hard precision, not sharp with aggression, but firm with certainty. the way a truth is stated when it no longer needs justification. The southeast motion cut clean through the field, a decisive diagonal that told Chai exactly where intention begins. From Chai's standpoint, this was the moment of commitment, the signal that the sender was no longer contemplating action, but standing inside it. The energy tightened, aligned, and stopped diffusing. Scatter collapsed into aim. Without pause, his hand shifted in the northeast motion, lifting the trajectory without lifting ego. This was not ascent for power's sake. It was elevation for clarity. Chi responded by refining itself, shedding emotional noise, stripping away personal attachment, becoming clean signal instead of personal effort. At this angle, distance fully surrendered. Time loosened its grip. The target, wherever, whenever, registered not as far, but as reachable and receptive. From Chai's view, the path was now open and unobstructed, like a door that had always been unlocked, but finally noticed. Then came the downward motion, the anchor. This was the most important stroke, and Anonymous felt it land in his bones. Downward did not mean weakening the transmission. It meant ensuring arrival. Chi followed gravity with gratitude, carrying the aligned frequency straight into the body, system, or soul it was meant to reach. No detours, no splash damage, no bleed into unintended fields. The energy entered gently but decisively, like rain that knows exactly which roots are thirsty. From Chi's standpoint, this three-stroke symbol was elegant in its restraint. Southeast declared purpose. Northeast clarified intent. Downward delivered without distortion. Nothing was wasted. Nothing rebounded. The transmission did not announce itself. It simply worked. Somewhere beyond sight, a body softened. A system recalibrated. Pain released its grip, confused by the lack of struggle. Anonymous lowered his hand, breath steady, posture unchanged. The Chai remained active, circulating quietly, satisfied. Distance had not been conquered or challenged. It had been instructed, and it listened. Sacred Flames Healing 37. What karmic debts do I need to pay? Where will I find happiness? Who is my soulmate? Associated crystals. Pink tourmaline, smoky quartz, and clear quartz. 3.3. Silver Soul Expansion Flame. It may be invoked for clearing issues around inner wisdom, appreciating our connection to others and the universe, and expanding our energy beyond our narrow three-dimension vision. It helps to remove spiritual fears, blockages, and confusions. It is also useful if you want to follow the path of ascension or to uncover your spiritual gifts, and it often used to protect the aura from negative influences or entities. I often use it to seal the aura after a spiritual healing. Any angel of being of light can be called to assist, but you may call upon the archangels for help to enhance or discover your spiritual gifts. Archangel Uriel, for example, helps with claircognizance. Call upon Archangel Raziel to help you with any questions of spiritual understanding. Remember to ask Raziel to show you the answer your questions in your dreams. Here is suggested meditation you might want to try. Take 4 deep breaths and feel your body relax. Close your eyes and count down from 10 to 1 as you find yourself walking downstairs. At the bottom of the stairs, you will see a door. Open the door. Sarah Seeger 38, you see 3 crystal pyramids. Look around and decide which one to go to. Enter the pyramid. Epona or other angels are there to greet you. Sit down on the floor and invite the silver flame into your aura. Say, invite the power of the silver flame into my being. I invite the silver flame to clear all my blockages. I invite the silver flame to help me see and understand the path that is intended for me. Feel the silver flame coming in through the crown chakra and filling the auric field around you. Your body feels lighter and clearer. Listen to any messages, images you see. The silver flame continues to fill the space around you. Ask any questions about spiritual matters. Wait for the answers. You know the healing is complete when it forms a shape of silver pyramid around the aura. Thank the silver flame and/or the angels and release the flame. You may also use this meditation to cut unhealthy spiritual cords or negative attachments. Enter the pyramid and ask Epona for help. You see angels holding swords flaming silver. You may say, I call upon the warriors of the silver flame to remove all negative spiritual entities from my life, house, etc. now. Sacred Flames Healing 39. See the angels with silver flame emitting from the swords, cutting all the cords. You will know that the negative energy will not return. They also cut cords attached to your house. Thank the warriors of the silver flame. Associated crystals are selenite, blue tiger's eyes, milky phantom quartz. Of course, lapis lazuli and rutile are perfect for meditation on spiritual matters. Using all three flames of the third triad, you might opt to use all three flames together for a harmonious healing. Start off by releasing the negative emotions with the emerald flame. Energize with the pink flame and seal with the silver flame. When I do this, I use each flame, release it, and invoke the next one. Sarah Seeger, 40 IV, additional flames. If you are not interested in healing, you might like to work with the sacred flames to improve matters in your life. This section, I will present you with a few more flames that have been a great help to me. 4.1. The white flame of protection. This is the universal flame often referred to in protection rituals. It can be used in the most general way to clear negative energy. If you were to imagine it, it looks like a large cloud. If you are feeling a little nervous, cluttered, or in any way negative, imagine your aura bathed in a strong white light from your crown down to under your feet. It should feel like a cocoon around you, making you feel at peace, clear-sighted, and safe. I often use this flame when I am about to deal with a difficult person or situation, and to clear my house and rooms with this energy. It can also be used to clear the energy in a room before a meeting or confrontation. It lifts a tired or dark mood and infuses a general feeling of goodwill. You can use it to protect your car, family, or anything that requires some purification. I also use this flame to protect myself every time before I do any energy work. Sacred Flames Healing 41.4.2. Orange Obstacle Buster Flame. This bright, powerful flame looks to me like the bright orange of an orange peel. It serves to remove obstacles in your path, mostly on a physical level. For example, you have deadline to complete a task, but you find yourself overwhelmed by other people or issues. See the flames surround you and see the obstacles being removed from your path. Affirm that you are free to complete the task and that you will do so efficiently and quickly. You can use it to clear financial obstacles, limited time concerns, annoying or obstructive individuals, etc. It can also be used to get out of a difficult situation that you might have agreed on impulse, and it seems impossible at that time to get out of it. You might, for example, have agreed to do something for a friend which you later regret because you now realize the full implications to yourself. When I use this flame, the situation is resolved in the best possible way for me and my friend. Use this flame liberally to relieve you of unnecessary burdens. You can also write down the concern, obstacles, or burn, stating that it is resolved or removed, and burn the paper in a bright orange candle. You could write something like, I am free of the burden of, I have plenty of time to complete, or I am free of the obligation to. Sarah Sager 42.4.3 Lemon Manifestation Flame. This soft lemon-colored flame is used to manifest new situations in your life. It can be used to bring your dreams to reality and to generate wealth and material well-being. Surround your body with this flame as you visualize your dream car, holiday, life, or success. For a stronger manifestation of material things, you can add the golden abundance flame over it to create 2 layers over your aura. It generates a feeling of success and high self-esteem. When you use it, you know you can do it. It also helps you to see new options that are available to you. If you do a lot of manifestation work, you will love using this flame. Remember to affirm positive thoughts add feelings within you. Use the strongest affirmation of I am to bring success in your life. You might like to light a yellow candle and write down the things you wish to achieve. Again, burn the paper in the candle, knowing that you are successful in your quest or outcome. 4.4 Peach Twin Flame. The peach flame is the flame of balance, of yin and yang, of the balance of 2 opposing forces to merge into completeness. It is the flame to use for creating healthy partnerships and increasing family love and support. If you have been having problems with Sacred Flames Healing 43, your partner or family, you can imagine this flame surrounding all of you in a state of happiness and love. If you are looking for a suitable partner, you can wear this flame to attract the partner to you. Imagine yourself happy in a relationship with both of you within the lemon flame. 4.5 Neon Green Compassion Flame. Use this flame if you are a healer and want to understand what your client really needs. It allows you to view others with love and compassion and to see their point of view. I have found it very useful when I have been arguing or disagreeing with someone. I find I see things from their perspective and what they need. It will show you their dreams and aspirations, and their fears and obstacles. It is a great way to help others. As a healer, you can place it in your aura, asking the question, what does need at this time? You will find it relatively easy to establish what the person needs. You can also use to do dream work. Place your body in a cocoon for the neon green flame and ask the question about the person who are concerned about. Sarah Seeger 44 IV. Concluding remarks, I hope that you have enjoyed working with the sacred flames. I have found that the angels always support my work when I call upon them, and I urge to work with this energy. As a healer, I have allowed my guides to show me which flame is best for the person I am working with. I see flashes of the relevant color and trust that that sacred flame is best suited for the person. I have, since writing about these flames, discovered that there are other flames for a range of purposes. I am still working on them and will share them as soon as it all makes sense to me. I have included some resource here for those who need to increase their literary knowledge in a concise, logical manner. I have also included a summarized table to help to identify the flames in a hurry. I thank you in love and peace. Sacred Flames Healing 45 resource material on the spirit world. Cooper Diana Angel Inspiration. Cooper Diana. A little light on angels. Cordon Thielen working with your guardian angel Eason Cassandra. Touched by an angel, Virtue Doreen Angel Therapy, Virtue Doreen Archangels, and Ascended Masters Virtue Doreen Healing, with angels on the body's energy systems. B. Brennan Light Emerging, The Journey of Personal Healing, J. Collins. The Color of Life, on Akashic Records for Complete Books, Edgar Case, Modern Prophet. Sarah Sager 46 Quick Reference Guide to the Sacred Angel Flames Healing Flames. Sacred Flames Healing 47 Additional Flames. Chapter 1. Hellfire and Neoplasm. The rip in the air did not open with sound, it opened with hunger. A tear of shadow and flame, folding reality like a cheap map, cracked behind Anonymous Cherry as he panted in the meditation grove. The time chamber shimmered in and out of existence, reacting like a nervous heartbeat. He didn't stand, he braced. His aura flickered uncertainly, the green-blue serpent outline around his purple chi struggling to stay lit. Snake chi still tasted new, like a venom he hadn't swallowed properly. The chamber doors trembled as the invisible spirit murmured a single whisper that carried like a commandment. There is more in you still. Chains of fire lashed outward, hooking into the chamber walls, and a skull wreathed in burning vengeance stepped through the tear. The Ghost Rider did not ask permission. He didn't need to. Hellfire ember breath hissed between skeletal teeth as a flaming whip carved a smoking scar across the ground. Behind him, rising like a nightmare that adopted swagger, Spawn Rap emerged, cape writhing like a living demon choir, green necroplasm eyes cutting through light with disrespectful clarity. Anonymous instinctively dropped into a stance. He didn't know who he was facing, only that they were built different. Ghost Rider tilted his skull, flames bending like a grin. Spawn Rap simply groaned like power stretching its legs after a long sleep. You're the one they're betting a city on. Spawn Rap's voice carried the unbothered annoyance of an ancient force being inconvenienced. Cute, Anonymous wanted to respond. His tongue refused. His blood felt like someone turned gravity up just for him. Ghost Rider pointed that burning finger, each flame a verdict, directly into Anonymous Cherry's chest. You possess power that doesn't understand itself, the Rider said, voice layered with thousands of condemned echoes. Neoplasm Chi, a mutation forged from survival, trauma, and refusal to die. Power born from the 9 deaths you lived through. It is unstable because you are still unfinished. That sentence pierced bone deep. The memories of sirens, crumpled metal, hospital lights, the quiet choking of fear he buried beneath stubborn resilience. His heart skipped, his breathing sharpened. Neoplasm Chi thrummed painfully beneath his skin, ready to panic like a wild animal in a cage. Spawn Rap walked closer, cape snapping like a guillotine. You think Snake Chi elevates everything. That was only step 1. Neoplasm Chi predates your understanding of power. It resurrects, it adapts, it multiplies under stress. But right now, he flicked a clawed fingertip against Anonymous's chest. An explosion of purple-green energy hurled him backward, smashing through an astral version of himself. It owns you. Anonymous wiped blood from his lip. It glowed neon defiant alive. He stood shakily, The flames around Ghost Rider surged. "There is a place you must train," he said, fire curling into a portal of screaming geometry. "A world where fear is fuel, where your trauma doesn't slow you, it mutates you. Where unfinished spirits are forged into unstoppable beings." Spawn Rap stepped halfway into the fire-drenched void and glanced back with the arrogance of someone who buried gods and called it a hobby. "Try not to die again. Unless you want a 10th near-death experience to really spice up your chi." Anonymous Cherry hesitated for only a breath, the breath where doubt always tries to live. Then he exhaled. The invisible spirit whispered inside that same breath, "Awaken what was locked because you are not ready." He stepped into the breach. The chamber slammed shut behind him. Flames swallowed everything. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. Hulk smash that like button. Claim that share as you comment your favorite rap. Also donation. Rap reports that a donation helps a long way. If you do want to donate, my cash AP is Rap Palace 214 Chapter 2. City of chains and vengeance, the fall felt infinite. Fire didn't burn him, it judged him. Each flame inspected the fractures in his heart like forensic light on invisible bruises. Memories clawed upward. The crash, the glass, the screaming metal, the brief moment when his body tried to abandon his spirit. Anonymous Cherry's teeth clenched. This was not pain, this was a reminder. When his feet hit ground, the world rattled like thunder, trapped in a rib cage. Hell's skyline stretched across every direction. Skyscrapers forged out of screaming stone, frozen faces twisted into architecture, their agony the foundation of suffering. Chains hung from storm-thick skies like the veins of a god who refused to die. Ghost Rider stood ahead, flames gone quiet but potent, like a heartbeat before rage. This city was made by the ones who tried to rewrite punishment, he said. They thought they could cheat consequences. His flaming skull turned, hollow sockets locking on to Anonymous. This place will teach you that trauma is not your enemy. Panic is. Spawn Rap floated on his cape, observing all with vicious amusement. The neon greens of his necroplasm flickered like city lights starved of power. "You want to master neoplasm chi?" Spawn asked, voice sharper than a verdict. "Then command what has hunted you." The ground split open. Out poured shadows wearing the faces of Anonymous Cherry's past, nurses with blank smiles, medics with no eyes, versions of himself broken on pavement, gasping for breath that death kept trying to steal. Each figure limp with unfinished tragedy. Anonymous's aura flared, purple lightning trembling beneath green-blue serpent shine. Snake chi surged, but neoplasm chi spiked erratically under it, unstable, overheating like a reactor ready to rupture. Ghost Rider cracked his flaming chain like a thunderclap. No techniques, no forms. You survive with raw will, or you become one of them. The shadows shrieked and charged. Anonymous stepped back, and his fear tried to take the wheel. Breath hitching, muscles freezing. Ghost Rider's voice struck like a hammer. Move. Anonymous lunged, but his fist went through a phantom before it solidified behind him. Claws raked his spine. He gritted through the burning ripple of corrupted fear. His heart raced, vision dimmed. He stumbled. Spawn Rap scoffed. "Your pain is driving. You're just a passenger." Another strike, ribs cracked. More shadows swarmed, swiping him ragged. His aura flickered, knees buckled. Not this again. Not another close death. He tasted blood. It tasted like survival. Ghost Rider stomped the earth, hellfire flaring under Anonymous's chin, forcing his head up. Fear tells you what might happen. Pain tells you what is happening. But power. He pressed a flaming finger into Anonymous's heart. No burn, just pressure like destiny leaning in. Power tells the universe what will happen. Anonymous inhaled. Something old and dangerous awakened. The neon in his blood grew brighter, veins glowing like radioactive hatred toward every moment life tried to erase him. His aura snapped tight, not spiraling wild for once, but focusing. One shadow lunged. Anonymous turned and bit its arm mid-strike. Neoplasm chi fed. The phantom shrieked as it dissolved into energy, absorbed, rewritten, owned by Anonymous Cherry's evolution. The others froze. Spawn Rap grinned a devilish grin. Oh, there it is. Ghost Rider's flame surged into a crown of wrathful approval. Anonymous cracked his neck, standing with a posture that promised violence. For once, he said, voice calmer than fear expected, I'm not the one bleeding. The shadows rushed him again. This time, he rushed faster. No hesitation. No second-guessing life. He ate his trauma alive. Each phantom dismantled, added new fuel, speed sharper, strength denser, instincts crueler. His movements turned predatory, serpentine fluidity laced with invasive mutation. Fear didn't vanish, it surrendered. Ghost Rider nodded once. Now you understand. Your terror was not meant to cripple you, but to sharpen your fangs. Spawn Rap's cape cracked like a whip. Lesson 1 passed. Now let's see if you can handle the side effects. Anonymous's breathing steadied, but inside him something growled, hungry and endless. Neoplasm chi had awakened, and it wanted more. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. Hulk, smash that like button. Claim that share as you comment your favorite rap. Also donation rap reports that a donation helps a long way. If you want to donate, my cash AP is Rap Palace 214, Chapter 3. The monster you built to survive. The earth beneath Anonymous's feet pulsed like a heartbeat, trying to remember rhythm. He stood in the ruin of his own fear, dust settling like the last page of a nightmare. But something was wrong, terribly right, inside him. His veins pulsed like serpent coiling around a reactor. His breath steamed neon. His body shook not with exhaustion, but with appetite. Spawn Rap hovered closer, cape twisting into shapes that loomed like demons craving applause. He observed Anonymous the way a surgeon observes a miracle he didn't ask for. You just tasted your first echo, Spawn said. Trauma made into energy. Hard to stop once you start eating the past, isn't it? Anonymous swallowed hard. His throat felt hot, like swallowing a star that didn't want to be digested. He didn't respond because he couldn't trust the voice sitting behind his own. Ghost Rider's flames flared higher, lighting the city's tortured skyline. Control the hunger, he warned, or it will decide your morality for you. Anonymous tried to breathe deep. Neoplasm chi burned deeper. The ground cracked. Hands thousands burst out and dragged up a new horror. These weren't shadows of fear anymore. These were faces he recognized. Friends he failed. People who doubted him. Ancestors who whispered curses into his bloodline. Every you won't make it. Every who do you think you are. Every you ain't enough. Their voices crawled under his skin like spiders made of memory. You lived while we died. You left when we needed you. You don't deserve the gifts you carry. Anonymous stepped back. His monster stepped forward. Spawn Rap clapped slowly. Time for you to meet the version of yourself trauma built. The version that refuses to stay buried. The air warped, and from the fractures in space stepped a being shaped like Anonymous Cherry. If he lost every war, if every scar became a mouth, if every near-death experience finished the job. Broken ribs poked through obsidian skin. Eyes glowed venom green but hollow. It smiled with too many teeth. Ghost Rider's grip tightened on his chain. That is the predator you trained inside your dreams. The one who learned how to kill pain instead of heal from it. The monster spoke, same voice but wrong emotion. A dead version of courage. I am the part of you that doesn't forgive. Anonymous's pulse spiked, but his stance stayed grounded. His power flared with loyalty to the life that refused to quit. You're not me, he said. The monster laughed like a body hitting the hood of a car. Not yet, it lunged, faster than panic, harder than regret. Anonymous blocked, but the impact knocked him through the remnants of a skyscraper made of screams. He tumbled through fire, hit steel, and skidded through debris. His lungs rattled, his aura sputtered. The monster didn't wait. It appeared through the flames, knee first, driving into his sternum and cracking stone beneath them. Venom chi leaked from its claws, burning into Anonymous's bloodstream. He screamed, then bit down on his own